https://youtube.be/pvjjunior-esfgmar????pxr-qbf7 The internet didn't blink. It froze. One name. One statement. One moment that detonated like a nuclear strike across social media. Erika Kirk stepped forward and dropped a claim so massive, so reckless, so emotionally charged that people genuinely thought it had to be fake. Screens refreshed non-stop. Clips replayed on loop. Group chats caught fire. Because this wasn't a vague accusation. This wasn't a subtle hint. This was Erika walking straight into the storm and daring it to swallow her whole. Her voice was calm, almost hauntingly controlled, but her eyes told a different story. The look of someone who had been pushed too far. Someone who had stayed silent while whispers turned into weapons behind her back. Someone who finally decided that protecting the truth mattered more than protecting powerful people. And the second her words hit the internet, the shockwaves were immediate. Fans screamed. Critics panicked. Insiders went quiet. Everyone knew exactly who she was talking about, even though she never said the name out loud. But here's where everything exploded. Before people could even finish watching Erika's statement, before screenshots could fully circulate, before reactions could form, Candace Owens struck back. Instantly. Brutally. Strategically. A response so fast, so sharp, it felt like she had been waiting for this moment. Like she already knew what Erika was about to say. Like she was shutting something down before it had the chance to breathe. And that's when the internet realized this wasn't a drama. This was a collision. Two powerful women. Years of buried tension. Secrets never meant to surface. And a reaction so aggressive it raised one terrifying question. What was Candace trying to stop from coming out? From the outside, it looked sudden. A shock. A spontaneous eruption that came out of nowhere. But the truth is, this moment had been building for years, quietly fermenting beneath polite smiles and carefully staged public appearances. Erika Kirk didn't wake up one morning and decide to torch her own peace. She arrived at that moment after a long, exhausting journey of swallowing discomfort, excusing disrespect, and convincing herself that loyalty would eventually be returned. It never was. Long before the internet ever noticed tension, insiders say the atmosphere between Erika and Candace Owens was already strained. Not openly hostile. Not dramatic. Just cold. Calculated. The kind of energy that makes rooms feel smaller when both people are present. They moved in similar circles, shared overlapping audiences, and appeared aligned enough that most people assumed mutual respect. But behind the scenes, respect was never evenly distributed. Those who attended early panels remember it clearly. Erika spoke with care, choosing words that emphasized unity and empathy. Candace followed with sharper edges, reframing points, reclaiming space, subtly positioning herself as the authority in the room. No one called it out. No one needed to. The imbalance was obvious. And while Candace's confidence earned applause, Erika's restraint quietly cost her influence. The first warning sign came during a private event, closed to press, attended by donors and strategists. According to someone who claims to have been present, a discussion turned toward leadership and public perception. Erika's name came up. Candace allegedly leaned back and said something that landed like a blade wrapped in silk. Not cruel enough to quote publicly. Just sharp enough to sting. The room shifted. People glanced at Erika, waiting for a reaction. She smiled. She said nothing. That silence would haunt her later. After that night, things changed. Invitations slowed. Emails went unanswered. Collaborations that were once in the works quietly disappeared. Erika felt it immediately, but she internalized it. She told herself she was imagining things. That politics were messy. That people were busy. What she didn't realize was that a narrative was forming without her consent, and she wasn't in the room when it was being written. Then came the whispers. Always second-hand. Always prefaced with, "I probably shouldn't say this, but..." Someone allegedly told her Candace had questioned her emotional stability. Someone else claimed Candace described her as hard to manage. Another insisted Candace had warned organizers that Erika complicated dynamics. None of it was on the record. None of it was traceable. All of it spread anyway. Erika did what she always did. She stayed quiet. She defended Candace publicly. She dismissed the rumors as misunderstandings. She believed that dignity would outlast gossip. That belief cost her dearly. The most painful part wasn't the whispers. It was the betrayal that followed trust. Insiders say there was a moment when Candace opened up to Erika privately. A vulnerable conversation. Personal. Emotional. The kind of exchange that creates unspoken bonds. Erika never repeated it. Never hinted at it. She treated it as sacred. Months later, fragments of that same information surfaced in places Erika had never spoken. And suddenly, fingers started pointing at her. That was the moment something inside her fractured. She confronted Candace quietly. According to a source close to the situation, Candace denied everything. Smiled. Reassured her. Suggested paranoia. Erika wanted to believe her. She needed to believe her. But the damage had already begun. Trust, once cracked, doesn't heal cleanly. Then the messages leaked. Not publicly. Not at first. Screenshots circulated privately among insiders. Group chats where Erika was discussed in ways that felt cruelly dismissive. Words like liability appeared more than once. That word carried weight. In their world, it was a professional death sentence. And Erika felt the consequences almost immediately. The warmth she once received turned cautious. The ease disappeared. She became someone people spoke about instead of to. Still, she said nothing. What finally pushed her to the edge wasn't a rumor. It wasn't a whisper. It was a clip. A viewer asked Candace about Erika during a show. Candace paused just long enough to make the moment uncomfortable. Then she delivered a line so carefully ambiguous it was devastating. A comment about performative morality. About people protecting their image. No name. No denial. No defense. Just enough to let the audience connect the dots on their own. The clip went viral within hours. Erika watched it alone. She didn't tweet. She didn't text anyone. She didn't defend herself. She broke down. Not because of the insult, but because she realized something far worse. Her silence had become a weapon being used against her. The grace she thought would protect her was now being framed as guilt. That night, according to someone close to her, Erika made a decision. She wouldn't expose details. She wouldn't name names. But she would stop pretending nothing was wrong. When her statement finally dropped, it was restrained but heavy. She spoke about exhaustion. About loyalty not being reciprocated. About being misrepresented by people she once trusted. She didn't accuse. She didn't attack. But every word felt loaded. The internet felt it instantly. And then Candace responded. Not with confusion. Not with concern. Not privately. Publicly. Immediately. A response. The moment the question hit the internet, everything spiraled out of control. What started as speculation transformed into obsession almost instantly. It didn't matter that no one had confirmed the recording's existence. It didn't matter that the anonymous accounts vanished as quickly as they appeared. The idea alone was enough to ignite panic. Because in a space where narratives are currency, a hidden recording isn't just dangerous. It's catastrophic. Twitter erupted first. Threads multiplied by the second, each one claiming a new angle, a new source, a new version of the truth. Some insisted Candace had a history of recording private conversations as insurance. Others argued Erika must have confessed something serious if a recording even mattered. TikTok followed with viral breakdowns, creators reenacting imagined confrontations, whispering theories into microphones like they were handling classified information. Reddit locked and unlocked megathreads as moderators struggled to contain the flood. This wasn't gossip anymore. It felt like an investigation. And in the middle of all of it, Erika said nothing. Her silence became its own kind of message. Fans tracked her every move, refreshing her pages, watching follow accounts, noting who she unfollowed, who she didn't. Every like was dissected. Every view was treated like a signal. Some said she was terrified. Others said she was preparing. But the longer she stayed quiet, the more people believed she was holding something back. Then another anonymous account appeared. Different tone. Different writing style. More confident. It claimed to have heard the recording. According to them, Erika didn't know she was being recorded. The confession captured wasn't about Candace at all. It was about someone else. Someone close to both of them. That line hit like a bomb. Because suddenly, this wasn't a two-person feud. It was a triangle. A hidden third party whose name hadn't surfaced, but whose presence was now undeniable. Speculation turned darker. People pulled up old footage, looking for shared appearances, overlapping connections, mutual associates. Donors. Strategists. Advisors. Names floated recklessly, ruining reputations in real time. But behind the scenes, something far more telling was happening. Journalists started posting cryptic messages. There's panic privately. People are deleting messages. This is bigger than it looks. Those weren't influencers chasing clicks. Those were reporters who didn't speak unless something was real. Then a leaked screenshot from a private group chat surfaced. Allegedly. No names visible. Just messages. She's terrified it's going to come out. This is spiraling. If the confession goes public, both of them lose. That last line stopped people cold. Both of them. Not one. Not the other. That meant mutual destruction. Mutual guilt. Whatever was on that recording wasn't leverage for one side. It was a loaded weapon pointed at everyone in the room. The idea that Erika and Candace were both protecting the same secret rewrote the entire story. Suddenly, Erika's restraint didn't look like fear. It looked like control. And Candace's speed didn't look like confidence. It looked like desperation. Then came the next escalation. A well-known political reporter dropped a single sentence that detonated across platforms. New information suggests this is not the only recording. That was it. No context. No follow-up. Just enough to send the internet into full-blown hysteria. Because one recording is an accident. Multiple recordings are a strategy. People began digging into last year. A private retreat both women attended. A closed-door meeting with no official notes. A dinner with powerful donors that was never publicly acknowledged. The timelines lined up too cleanly to ignore. And then Candace posted a tweet that lasted less than 60 seconds. Be careful who records you. It was deleted almost instantly. But screenshots are forever. And that single sentence screamed panic louder than any denial ever could. Moments later, Erika finally broke her silence. Not with a video. Not with a statement. Not with an explanation. Just one line, posted quietly on her story. I kept your secrets. You didn't keep mine. That was it. No names. No details. But it confirmed everything people feared. There were secrets. Plural. And they mattered enough to destroy trust completely. The internet exploded all over again. Hashtags trended worldwide. Team Erika. Team Candace. Drop the recording. Expose the truth. Influencers who had never interacted with either woman suddenly claimed insider knowledge. Commentators picked sides with alarming certainty. But the most chilling reaction came from someone who rarely spoke on controversies at all. A journalist known for accuracy tweeted, "Whatever is on that recording is not what people think it is." And the person most affected isn't Erika or Candace. That line reframed everything. If the recording didn't primarily damage either of them, then who did it hurt? Who was being protected? Who was powerful enough that both women would rather burn their own reputations than say the name out loud? Behind the scenes, signs of damage control multiplied. Accounts tied closely to Candace went private. People from Erika's circle unfollowed prominent commentators overnight. A political advisor deleted an entire year of tweets. Silence spread in places that were usually loud. That kind of silence only appears when lawyers are involved. Then came another leak. This one from an account with a reputation for accuracy. You're all focusing on the wrong fight, it wrote. They are not fighting each other. They are fighting over who gets blamed when the truth comes out. The implication was terrifying. This wasn't about betrayal anymore. It was about survival. Suddenly, everything made sense. Erika's breaking point. Candace's preemptive shutdown. The recording. The secrecy. The third person. This wasn't a feud born from jealousy or ego. It was the unraveling of a shared decision. Something they both participated in. Something that went wrong. And now, as pressure mounted, the alliance fractured into open warfare. Another message followed before the account disappeared. Ask yourself why the third person was in the room at all. That question haunted every timeline. Why were they there? What decision required secrecy? Why would it need to be recorded? And why would exposing it destroy everyone involved? By now, the internet wasn't just reacting. It was waiting. Waiting for the next leak. Waiting for the name everyone was dancing around. Waiting for the moment one of them cracked completely. Because one thing was clear. This story wasn't slowing down. It was accelerating toward something explosive. And just as people thought they had reached peak chaos, whispers began circulating privately about a final recording. Not the backup. Not the confession. Something else entirely. Something that tied every loose thread together. Something neither Erika nor Candace ever wanted to see the light of day. And if that leak surfaced, it wouldn't just end a feud. It would end careers. Everything hit a breaking point when the whispers stopped being whispers. Behind closed doors, the tone shifted from speculation to alarm. This wasn't about optics anymore. This was about containment. People who had been casually commenting days earlier suddenly refused to speak. Phones stopped ringing. Messages went unread. Entire networks went quiet at once. the kind of silence that only happens when something irreversible is about to surface. Commentary channels scrambled. Journalists made calls they didn't want traced. Influencers suddenly deleted videos they had confidently posted days earlier. The fear was palpable. Because now it wasn't just about two women fighting publicly. It was about something systemic. Something buried intentionally. Something that had been managed quietly until Erika disrupted the balance. And that's when a new narrative surfaced, one that changed how people viewed Erika entirely. According to multiple insiders, her statement wasn't meant to expose Candace. It was meant to force a reckoning. A warning shot. A signal that she was done carrying weight alone. That she wouldn't be the designated foreperson when the truth eventually surfaced. Candace's immediate shutdown suddenly looked different through that lens. Less like dominance. More like panic. Like someone trying to seal a door before anyone noticed what was leaking through the cracks. Then came the moment that truly terrified everyone watching. A trusted leak account, one known for accuracy and restraint, posted a single line late at night. The real recording hasn't leaked yet. No hashtags. No drama. Just that. And within minutes, the post was deleted. But screenshots traveled faster than fear. And that sentence hit harder than everything else combined. Because it meant what the public had been obsessing over was only the decoy. The backup recording. The confession. The whispers. None of that was the real threat. The real threat was something else entirely. Private messages began circulating among journalists, suggesting the final recording involved a conversation about accountability. About who would take the blame if something unraveled. About whose name could withstand exposure and whose couldn't. Suddenly, Erika's line made devastating sense. I kept your secrets. You didn't keep mine. That wasn't emotional. It was strategic. It was someone realizing the shield was one-sided. Public reaction reached a level rarely seen. This wasn't just trending. It was consuming. People weren't asking for drama anymore. They were demanding clarity. Demanding names. Demanding accountability. And yet, the closer the internet got, the quieter the people who actually knew became. Then a bombshell dropped from an unexpected source. A prominent strategist, someone deeply embedded but rarely vocal, tweeted, "This isn't a feud. It's a fracture." No explanation. No follow-up. But insiders knew exactly what that meant. Fractures happen when pressure has been building for too long and the structure can't hold anymore. Soon after, a rumor spread privately that mediation had been attempted months ago. That Erika had been encouraged to stay silent for the greater good. That Candace had been assured everything was under control. That someone else had promised protection to both. And when that protection failed, the alliance collapsed. The third person wasn't just present. They were central. As dawn broke, one final leak circulated among closed circles, before being wiped almost everywhere else. It was a message allegedly sent by someone close to the situation. They are not scared of each other. They are scared of what happens when the wrong name trends. That was the line that changed the mood entirely. Because it suggested the next reveal wouldn't spark debate. It would trigger fallout. By now, even casual observers felt it. This wasn't entertainment anymore. It felt like standing near a fault line moments before an earthquake. Every refresh carried the same question. Who cracks first? Erika, who has already shown she's willing to speak. Or Candace, who has proven she'll strike before anyone else can. And then, just as suddenly as it began, everything went quiet. No new posts. No statements. No clarifications. Just silence. The kind that signals a countdown. Insiders whispered that something had already been scheduled. A release. An interview. A drop that couldn't be stopped once it started. And the only thing anyone could agree on was this: when it happens, it will change everything people thought they knew about this feud. Because the truth isn't about who insulted who. It's not about ego or rivalry. It's about power, protection, and a secret big enough to keep everyone in line until someone finally refused. And that someone was Erika. Now the internet is holding its breath. Waiting for the name. Waiting for the recording. Waiting for the moment the third person steps out of the shadows and the entire narrative collapses under its own weight. This story didn't peak. It hasn't been resolved. It hasn't even fully revealed itself yet. It's still loading. Right now is the moment where this story stops being something you just watch and starts being something you're part of. Because what's unfolding isn't slowing down, it's tightening. Every hour of silence isn't peace, it's pressure. Every deleted post isn't closure, it's preparation.